Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. Before we get into tonight, I want to show my latest Lois Lane cover, Detective Comics 1103, because I just think it's an awesome picture of Lois Lane. I am now going to bring in my guest. Tonight's guest, the fabulous, wonderful Adam from UpAndAdamComics. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, doing great. That was too funny. Like I made a promise to Kate Munin, but you didn't. So like there was going to be a
My
Lois.
show.
That's right.
So, how have you been lately? What have you been up to? I understand you're doing some shows this weekend.
Yeah. We have Mr. McGroovy. Definitely recommend to try to check him out on Saturday. He's doing. He's been doing a lot of interviews with different people and posting things and things like that. And so I think now he's given the opportunity to turn the tables and let us ask him, those kind of questions. So he's going to, I think, just record it on Saturday, and then I'm not sure exactly when that's going to air. But yeah, getting that done, and I feel like I have other stuff coming up, but it's just all escaping me right now.
It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try and catch it as much as I can and see what goes on through the thing. And we've got somebody asking about your funny little sheep in the back.
They're not funny. Yeah, Mark is funny. He made a comment. I almost was going to put my dogs up, but he made a comment before. He's like, I kind of enjoy when your dogs come down and hang out in the back. And so I have a couple of pugs. There's Sherlock Holmes and Indiana Jones. So those are my two dogs. Hopefully they don't do anything vulgar in the background.
Very cool though. So what has apart from the Mr. McGroovy, what have you been up to lately? Like I've seen you on the Dungeons and Dragons show with Halya and Mike and Mr. Akins. I know I'm missing somebody.
Yeah, Eric and
Eric, yes,
and Bigby,
Bigby McFly. That's it.
Yeah,
how's that going?
Yeah, it's going well. Next Wednesday we'll have issue 3. We're kind of calling them like issues because it's all based on Marvel multiverse, the Marvel multiverse role playing game, and so we'll have issue number 3 out on Wednesday, and that's been kind of fun. It was kind of one of those things that just I think Mr. Akins actually said, hey, we should play D&D together, and then I was like, hey, we got this Marvel RPG we could run, so maybe let's try that. And then I sent a few hey, who wants to join? And then everybody was like, yes, and so that was kind of cool. So
Very cool.
Yeah, so we're doing that. I've been working on some artwork stuff. I got it's not a big secret, but we got a piece probably going out as soon as I get my top loaders in, out to the wonderful Robbie Josephs. And then I'm working on another piece right now for another mystery person that won't know. And so and I like to hit up people and say, hey, do you happen to have this person's address? Then
yeah, I am. People have done that with me, and then not looking for mine, but for other people's, because they want to surprise people, and that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Luckily, just about everybody who I have the address for has given me permission to give it out. So in this situation, so hopefully that's always a good thing. So before we get too much farther, let's take a moment and say hello to the people who've joined us tonight. We've got Kay Munin. Hi, Kay Munin. How are you doing tonight?
Hopefully he didn't leave from the Lois appearance.
No, he commented about it. We've got the Lois. Adam saying it would be Lois free. Well, because of that, I just had to pull it up. Right? Rob Saint is here. Hi, Rob. It's good to see you. We've got Mark Mueller. Mark is going to be on my next episode of the Superman show. He has agreed to do that. So he'll be on with me on the 16th of December. We've got Second Floor Comics. Hi, Lewis. That's good to see you. Mr. Aiken, speak of the devil with regards to the Dungeons and Dragon game. It's good to see you here. We've got Steven, weird start, Matt. Well, you'll understand when we get to the K-Munin comment right here. No, Matt, you ruined that show with that Lois book. When somebody says that there should be no Lois, I have to have Lois. So, welcome to the show, Thing Comics.
Yeah. All the way from
We've
Finland.
got Comic Showcase Shop. It's good to see you. She's going to be joining me in a few weeks here on the Tuesday night show.
Awesome.
We've got the Marvel and D&D
DC
Marshlands.
Yeah.
Oh, Marvel and DC Marshlands. Okay. It's good to see you.
Very cool.
And we've got Mike Dennis here. Mike, it's good to see you. Glad you can make it. Lau's here. Hi, Lau. Like me, he didn't make the show we were supposed to go to this past weekend, which was too bad. Eric is here from SideQuest. Hi, how are you, Eric?
Hey, Eric.
JSS has made it. It's good to see you, John.
Master Wrench.
Hey, that's true. That is true. Another award winner there. So that's everybody so far that's in the chat. So, Adam, what have you brought us tonight?
So what I thought I would do is talk about
I'm sorry, I missed Lyle. I just realized that. I know Lyle's in there somewhere.
Yeah, we can't miss Lyle.
Yeah, cannot miss Lyle. Lyle, comment and I'll get your next one up there, buddy.
Yeah, there he goes. Cool. Yeah, but
K-Munin, if you want to see Lau in the comment, change it from top comments to all comments. All right. So.
Yeah, so I was going to talk about kind of my favorite title in what I collect more than anything is Fantastic Four. And so
awesome.
I know there's there's a lot of people that don't care anything about Fantastic Four. They think they're overrated and cheesy and all kinds of things. But it's always been, well, it hasn't always been, but once I discovered them and really got into them, it was kind of, and I'll talk a little bit about that, but it kind of let me know that this was a different type of comic. And that's what really got me interested in it. So, and it kind of started with my love for it from some of the stuff from John Byrne. So, I had read some, of course, some X-Men, a little bit of X-Men, but I really got into Alpha Flight for a while when John Byrne was taking over Alpha Flight. And then he moved over, to start doing some Fantastic Four stuff. And so one of the first issues that I remember picking up was this.
I'm just going to make you big here. And
yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Was this issue 275. And so this is just such a weird story. It's basically this photographer sees...
looks a lot like Stan Lee.
Looks a whole lot like Stan Lee. Maybe there's a little joke in there from John Byrne. I'm not sure. But She-Hulk is like nude sunbathing on top of the Baxter building. And this guy takes pictures and he's going to put them, like he's kind of paparazzi and he's going to put them in publications. And so, so she's like out there to like chase him down, beat him up, try to get it, all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, well, this was, kind of, more of an introduction, unless like how much John Byrne really liked She-Hulk, and of course he went on to draw like a whole series with that. But had a lot of humor in it too. But it was just kind of like a different kind of story, which I really enjoyed. But the real one that did it for me was this issue right here, which is 285.
Right.
And this issue was kind of significant because. You can kind of see on there, Johnny Storm's like, I have to quit. So what happens is there's a child that sets himself on fire so that he can be the Human Torch. And it's I remember this book. Yeah, it's a really powerful story. And I was like, this really hits different. This was, a lot of emotion and that type of thing. So, so this is like, this one was probably the one that kind of made me go back and want to start, collecting Fantastic Four. Now I'm going to get a little personal and maybe a little emotional about this, but part of the reason that I really connected with Fantastic Four was, and it wasn't just because it wrote like the world's greatest comic magazine. I think that was just, self-promotion. But one of the things that, oh yeah, very cool. Thanks so much. But one of the things that really got me into them at that time in my life. So when I was around in 8th grade, which was about the 83, around that time, 83, 84, I had like a crazy family situation. Just to be personal, I know we're all friends here. My dad basically just evacuated the house one day. And I came home from school and half of the stuff is gone in the house, and, he's not there anymore. Kind of left a note like, I'm out. And, and that was kind of it. So it was a big shakeup. I was probably, at the time, I have an older brother and older sister, that my brother's like 10 years older than me. My sister is 6 years older than me. And kind of when that happened, definitely I was the one in the house that was really kind of dealing with that. And then there was my mom, and I was closer to my dad. So my mom was not somebody I was really close with. And here we are kind of in a house trying to see what things are going to go on. So, so we, and my mom was kind of dealing with her own thing, and I was kind of, trying to come to grips with everything as well. And so one thing that I really liked about Fantastic Four was just kind of the whole family aspect. It was kind of a family that I didn't really have, and the way they had, like, the siblings, Johnny and Sue, had a good relationship. They had, a good marriage that was going on there. The Thing was kind of like another brother that was in there. And it kind of gave me a lot to kind of look up to. It helped me realize how dysfunctional some of my own family was. But, I really grasped a hold of to that family, family feel in the book, and to kind of see that. And so I've always thought, like, I mean, a lot of people think, Stan Lee sometimes is pretty hokey and some different things, but just being behind this book and kind of creating that environment, which didn't exist heavily in comics at that time, and having them face real problems and bicker and fight and kind of do some different things like that. It made it seem very real to me. And so that's what kind of, honestly, what really, really got me into it. So, so I have slowly been, over time, have slowly been collecting, trying to get as much of Fantastic Four that I can. And so right now I am just down to 4 issues that I need to have every single one from, the start from 1961 to whenever the last week came out. So, and I need 4 of the first 5.
I have a buddy who has every one of them.
That's impressive.
I mean, like that's one hell of a run.
Yeah. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. So
yeah, no. And as a guy who's trying to get as many Action Comics as he can, I completely understand on that.
Yeah,
and actually have about 125 issues of that first run, and then a few of every of a couple of the next couple runs, and then I subscribe to FF, and I've got a good chunk of the later stuff as well. So
okay. Yeah, so
actually, what caught me for the FF back in the day was the Thing and the interaction between the Thing and the Human Torch. They were just so hilarious talking back and forth. And when I was a kid, that was just funny, and that's what caught me there. Then as I got older, I appreciated the other two more.
Yeah, so. And my like the Thing and the Human Torch kind of always pranking each other and doing stuff like that's kind of how me and my brother interact with each other. Like we get along great, and we're just silly together. And so, so I've always liked that. So what I thought I'd do is just kind of go through some of the books that I have.
Let's go.
Can't show all of them. That would take way too long. But just some of the favorites that I've gotten and some that have meant more to me than others. And so one thing, so this is my oldest, of course, is number 2.
That's very cool. That's the Skrulls, right?
Yeah, the first appearance of the Skrulls, and where they trick them and turn them into cows at the end of it, which took a really long time before they actually went back to those cows. And then they came out of there, realized that they're Skrulls. It came out of that. But really. So the reason, and some of these books have come to me in kind of odd ways. So this book, and also I have a number 8 and a number 11.
Oh, the Puppet Master. Good one. Hi, Cram.
Yeah. So I had a friend of mine that was he works in the AC unit business, and so he gets to crawl in lots of people's attics and basements and stuff like that.
Right.
Well, there was a woman who had lost her husband, and she's like, I need to get rid of all of his collection. It's takes up space. I just want to give them to somebody that would appreciate them. And so my friend ended up like he took them, but he paid her for them, like not what they were worth, but like what she was like she wouldn't accept anything more than that. And like he tried to give her a good deal, and he goes over and cleans up for her stuff. The collection that this was absolutely insane. So most of this early Silver Age stuff, I mean, had a whole lot of it. So had like a ASM1, had and there's a lot of big DC books. So all that time in the 60s and 70s, and he's got thousands in this collection that she had gifted to him. So because we're really good friends, and me and my friends that I'm close to that collect comics with, like sometimes they're like, there's something that somebody would appreciate more than I would, like I'm going to give them that book. So so my friend Jim gave me like the 2, the 8, and the 11, because he's like, I know you need these, and he's like, I'm going to give you those. And I was like, well, I need to give you something. So I had some like Golden Age war books, and he's really into war books. And so so I gave him like several of those, and also the whole run of Tomb of Dracula that I had, because he was thinking about collecting that. He really liked that Bronze Age horror stuff. So I gave him all that, and like I had the number 10 that I had with the first Blade appearance. I got that one signed by Marv Wolfman at one point. So he was pleased with that. I know I came out ahead in that deal, but it's like, I know he's a big X-Men fan. So it's like, if I find a giant size X-Men number 1, like I'm probably going to give it to him. It's like just one of those things. But yeah, like, so that was kind of a unique thing about that. I wanted to show, sorry, my dogs are acting a little crazy in the back. There may be
I used to have cats. I know what that's like.
But I wanted to show this one for Chonko, if he's here.
Chonko's in Belgium. I think he may be asleep. He sounded like he was going to bed earlier.
Yeah, he'll watch this on the rewind. He's like, man, why did Adam show this book? So I don't, this was the one, like, I probably, when he did his video about not liking Silver Age comics, I kind of a little bit disagree with it. I get what he's saying, like it's just a feature on his butt.
You know what scares me is that book has been around forever. I collect Fantastic Four. I've probably seen what I thought I've seen every one of them. I did not remember ever seeing this cover before Chonko showed it.
Yeah, and I've always thought of it as the teabagging Namor cover.
Oh God, no.
That's what I've referred to it as, but it does, folks. But it's a little different perspective. So be that as it may, but I had to show that for Chonko. I really love the villains that are in Fantastic Four. Dr. Doom is my favorite, probably, character of all of them. Of any comics, but they had a unique rogues gallery of villains, and some of them, like Puppet Master that was there, some of them kind of stay within Fantastic Four, but there's a lot that go on to do a lot of other things. So, so one of my favorites is Hate Monger.
Hate Monger. Wow.
Just a cool one. I mean, just very different. And in the issue, kind of, I mean, there's no spoilers because this came out in the 60s, but like they take off his mask and it's Adolf Hitler, you know, so it's pretty crazy. But and I did incorporate that into our Marvel multiplayer game where a sniper took out Hitler in the background. That was you know, the Hate Monger. So so you know, I have like some of those, you know, of course I have a lot of the early stuff too. A character that I've also always really liked is Medusa.
Medusa is awesome.
And this
I
is,
really think she was not done well on the TV show. Which
oh my gosh. Yeah. Why do you cut her hair? That's her thing. Like, yeah. But
they cut her hair because the CGI for it was way too expensive.
Right. Well, they just shouldn't have done the show. So like, you can't, you know, it's like they should have just had Black Bolt walking around talking all day, you know?
Exactly.
But I've always really liked Medusa, and Medusa's kind of the first replacement of an FF character. So she kind of comes in and takes over Sue's role when she gets pregnant. Hey, look, there's some humping in the back. Ah, man, you thought you had to pay extra. We're gonna get flagged from YouTube. But but anyway, yeah, she starts off like a villain, kind of like Scarlet Witch, you know, Black Widow, some of those other characters that start off as villains. And you know, so she's part of the Frightful Four with the Wizard, Sandman. You got good old Paste Pot Pete there. Or he might have been Trapster by this point. And then Medusa. And so she gets kind of conflicted early on. So, but I really love that issue. And I worked a trade with that. So I had a 3-way trade for this book that involved my a comic dealer and the owner of my LCS. And I was like, hey, the owner of my LCS really wanted the Jim Lee.
You might want to kick your dogs again. They're
yeah, it's all good. A little action.
It's going to get me struck from YouTube. Come
on. But yeah, like maybe I'll block them with the books.
There we go.
But they, you know, to get this one, I did like a 3-way trade. I traded a bunch of Walking Dead books to the comic book dealer, and then I actually did my LCS owner wanted a Batman, the Jim Lee cover where he's like the 608, the second print that I had. And so we kind of did like a 3-way trade of some different books, and I got this and a couple other things. So
that's very cool.
Yeah.
You know, one of the reasons I like the Fantastic Four as well was the original Crystal stories where she was on the team.
Yeah, and Crystal.
You know, again, it added to a lot to the stories. I liked the fact that they were making it into a family. It wasn't just okay. Like that's the one thing about DC. I'll say they didn't develop a lot of the background characters enough fast. It took years and years and years. They literally, you know, okay. Here's Clark Kent at the newspaper. Oh, here's Lex Luthor doing something again. Clark beats Lex Luthor. Back in jail. Clark writes a story. The end. You know?
Right. And they did and you know, Crystal was you know, going to be marrying the Human Torch, you know, so it's like they didn't just bring in a character, they made them like a really significant part of it. Yep. Here we go, banning them again.
Thank you.
One of my favorite earlier stories that kind of gets overlooked a lot is issues 39 and 40, which are issues with Daredevil, as you can see. And the Fantastic Four have lost all of their powers. They were fighting the Frightful Four. They lost all of their powers. Hold on one second. Let me get them out here. Get on, boys. Yeah. Sorry, they're being too loud.
Oh, that's funny. I love that's their part character. They have character, but
but like Daredevil kind of comes in and tries to help them and fight against Dr. Doom. And so it's, you know, it's really kind of interesting. And then Dr. Doom realizes that they don't have powers, and it's just a really good 2-part story. And so FF was really good about running kind of like 2-part, 3-part stories in there. You're talking about, this is the first
Inhumans,
appearance of the
baby.
Inhumans. And on the splash page, another thing that they did a lot was, in Marvel especially, is the last page was a splash
Yeah.
page or a big picture, and that was like the first cameo appearance of a character.
Yeah, they did that a lot.
Did a lot. Of course, everybody knows the Hulk 181 thing, but you would see like Black Bolt's on this, and then he's on the cover of the next one. So,
Well,
and then
one of the things, while we talk about the Inhumans had the potential to be one of the best things that ever came out of Marvel. They were great. Okay, great concept. I love that you had, Lockjaw and Crystal and Triton and Medusa and Black Bolt, etc., and that they were just as much of a family for the most part as the rest. And I was so sad that the TV show screwed that up so badly.
Yeah. And they had like Maximus was a great villain for the Inhumans, as being the brother and mad and crazy, and they had like that inner turmoil within their family. Also, kind of a little bit unique on how they all get their powers through putting all of their people through these Terrigen mists.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of interesting. So they never knew what powers they were going to get, and that type of thing. And I mean, Inhumans, I never feel like they've been. I mean, they did really well in like the 60s and 70s, but they've kind of become forgotten a lot. Or occasionally there's like a mini series that comes out or something like that. But yeah, they're great, and that, I think that was really when at this time in the mid 30s through like issue 60 of Fantastic Four. That's probably like when Stan and Jack were just kind of at their best.
Really on at that time.
They were really, and of course, I got the triumvirate of the 48, 49 with the first Galactus there, and first full Galactus, and 50.
You haven't had those graded yet.
I'm not a grader. I don't. I have like I think I have like maybe 10 to 12 slabs, and some of those are more recent that I've won as like, or gotten as an AOK or something like that. I don't slab very many books because I want to flip through them. Even though I have,
I feel the same way. I've said many times about what I feel about slabs. So
yeah, and the 48 was really like this is probably my most special book in my collection that I have. And part of the reason for that is when I went to a comic shop, I was actually shopping. I went a couple hours away. I went to some shops that I really like to go to, and they had 2 copies of this book, and so I went back and I bought stuff for other people to like give to them for Christmas gifts and things like that. And I went back, and the owner of my LCS, like, he was like, "Oh, do they have good stuff down there?" Because he was thinking about making a trip down. I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I couldn't believe they had like 2 of my Grail books, like 2 copies of it. Like, where do you see that kind of stuff? Hey, Rich. And he's like, "Oh, really? They have that? That's cool." And then I go back to the shop the next week, and he's like, "Hey, we got something here for you," and he gives me that book. And so, like, a bunch of my friends had all chipped in for that. So that's what makes it really special too. But I think this book was in my head, I thought, like, this is the biggest Grail that I'm ever going to get. This is the book that I really, really want. I'm also a big Silver Surfer fan. I love Silver Surfer.
That's one you can't go wrong with. That is one that, I wish I had too. I mean, there's a lot of books I wish I had, but that'd be really cool to have.
Yeah, and that in my mind, this was like as far as I would ever get would be to own this book. And now I've gotten some of the other ones that I had. So another story about how I acquired some things. There was a guy in our community that needed to sell his entire collection. His wife was getting cancer treatments, and so somehow he had contacted, my LCS, and they, he was talking to them. He's like, "Hey, I've had some people come by the house already, and I've sold them some books, but I don't really know what I'm doing here." And when we kind of found out who it was that he sold them to, like, there were some people that were just taking advantage of them. And the heartbreaking part is when you went into this house, because the shop owner had told me, he's like, "Adam, I went over there. You should go over there. Try to buy some books." He knew I would give the right price for them.
Yeah.
And he, but like when you went into the house to get to the comic collection, you had to go right by the hospital bed that his wife was on. So the people that were buying these books were just, terrible people. But that's where I got the first Inhumans. And this guy, the bad thing for me financially was his biggest book that he collected was Fantastic Four. So he had the whole run.
Wow.
He had the whole run. But when I got there, he had sold a few things on eBay, and he was a military guy. And so when he was in the military, and stopping off at different stops, he would sell or like go to comic shops. And he also went to some early, San Diego Comic-Cons back in the late 70s and things like that. The crazy thing that he didn't have anymore that he sold, he had a whole bunch of Jack Kirby original art from Fantastic Four.
Oh, that would have been nice.
And so he put that all up on eBay, and he was telling me, he's like, "Yeah, I was surprised at how much that stuff went for. I had no idea." He's like, "I paid like, $20, $50 for a page or something like that. And then it went for thousands." And I was like, "Yeah, you didn't know what you had." But I bought.
I read that he was getting paid $106 a page his last year at Marvel, where he did regular work.
Wow, that's crazy.
That was it.
Yeah, that's crazy. But so I bought a lot of my, I just had that access to be able to get those books. And so we ended up doing some like consignment for him at our comic shop, and had some days where people could come in. We would look up the prices so that it would be fair, and then they could make offers to him. Like, hey, we would tell him like, "Hey, this book is worth $200." And then he would work with the person to like negotiate a price, so that he wasn't taken advantage of, and he felt he could get rid of some things. So we kept those books in our shop for a long time and would consign them. And then he moved to Alaska with his wife. She had to get some special treatment in Alaska. Mm-hmm. And so we were like sending him money, like, as often as we could, when like at least once a month, to like send him money for what we had sold out of that. But so I had kind of like a big chunk of Fantastic Four held for me. And then I would just, every week or two, like, or a month or something, I'd go in and, okay, I'm going to buy this book now. And so I kind of like slowly got a lot of this collection just because, through that. And I also got like a lot of the Creepy magazines that I have. He had like full run of Creepy, and so he collected a lot of things that I like, which you always hate to see, like, like, oh man, a collection came in that has everything that I desire.
You brought up Creepy. I'm curious, how long is the run?
I want to say around 160 issues or something like that.
Okay, so it's quite long. Okay, I thought it might only be about 100. That's why I'm.
Yeah, it goes past that. Eerie, I think, is a little shorter because Eerie started a little later and then didn't have the staying power quite as Creepy did. But I bought a lot of the early Creepy issues from that collection, and then I wanted to get all the Bernie Wrightson ones and all the Frank Frazetta covers, and like first issue and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of worked on that as well. But yeah.
We got
thanks so much.
I want to say thank you very much, Kiratan, for thank you very much for your $2 super chat tonight. We really appreciate it. It's good to see you. All right. Sorry about that.
No, that's great. That's great. And then this is probably one of my very favorite stories. It goes from 57 to 60. And this is when Doctor Doom steals the Silver Surfer's board and kind of gets the power cosmic.
Now, that would be. I wonder if that would be a really cool for Fantastic Four too. Would be an interesting storyline.
Right. Now, like in the second movie, it seemed like that's what they were trying to take was from
Yeah,
this story.
exactly.
But they didn't quite pull that off the way that they should. But yeah, this was such a great story, and between the Daredevil story and this one, that's what really got me into Doctor Doom was those two stories. Now, jumping ahead a little bit, my favorite, like one of my favorite Doctor Doom covers is this one with issue 84.
Yeah, I read this not too long ago because I read one of my essentials, Fantastic Four, which I believe had that issue in it. I believe it was this one here. Which just let me join you for a second there.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah, this was. Yeah, in fact, that's the back cover.
Back cover. Hey, twinsy. Yeah.
So
very cool. Yeah, but I've always loved that cover. I mean, just a lot of detail in it. Again, Kirby's hitting it hard in that one. But then, jumping ahead, like when I was collecting, that's enough. When I was collecting, I said John Byrne was kind of my, big introduction into it. So one of the first things that I was working on, and kind of when I collect comics a lot, I'm a big run collector. I love getting a full run or as close as I do, but I kind of build it so that it's, I think about like, I want all the stuff with this writer or this artist and that type of thing. And so then I get that chunk and then I'm like, well, what's the chunk right before it? Okay, let me try to work on that.
Yeah, I like to do it in chunks too, where I get at least complete stories. Because there's nothing I hate. There's nothing I hate. Like, okay, I've bought, say, issue 17, 29, 44, and 30, 68 of a store of a series, and none of them are connected, and they're all in the middle of a story. That's hard to follow.
Right. And so, so I really worked on trying, like my first thing that I was trying to collect with them is like, I need to get all the John Byrne books. And so,
that's a pretty good
this was not the start of it, but, so he did, and Mr. Akins will correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think it was around, I think he did about 209, I think is his first one with, Herbie the Robot. And then he goes up and takes he does like 10 issues. There's like an issue break. He does another like 9 or 10. And then there's a pause for about 10 issues when somebody else comes in. And then he starts over with 232, which is a great Diablo cover. But this was like early on, this was one of my grails was to have the 236. And it has so many characters on it, but I mean, it's just such a great cover. I would just
has as many characters as that Fantastic Four marriage issue.
Yes, the annual 3. But yeah, this one, this one was like a big book for me. I just really love this, this book. Came in and said, I was never a fan of the robot replacing the Human Torch. Okay,
well, you know what? Herbie had his place.
That's right. Herbie. Well, I mean, they did Herbie as kind of like they introduced him on the cartoon, and then they, wanted to do, some different things and bring him into the comic and stuff like that. Herbie's not my favorite, but it was, it was fun. Mr. Akins knows that there was 41 characters total, so I don't know if he was counting really fast or he just knows that. But that's awesome. And then. Another key book that's in this is the first Nova Frankie Ray, who becomes a Herald of Galactus in this book. And that's another thing. And like a lot of the Fantastic Four books, that's when you get different, they have a lot of the Heralds of Galactus, Terrax and Nova and, Airwalker and some of those different ones that were Heralds of Galactus, of course, Silver Surfer. And so I like a lot of the cosmic stuff too, and so so that was kind of another thing. And Galactus, of course, is one of my favorite villains too. But this issue, I want to give away to somebody. So I have a couple copies of this. So I was like, it's not the most perfect shape, but this is still like a $20 book. No Biggie Shag. I do not keep it unbagged. I tried to do it just for this one to try to get it there. So how should we do this, Matt? Should we?
I'm trying to see how to do this hashtag contest thing.
Or we could do something, like a random number generator or something, and we can figure it out.
How about we want to have a way to hashtag giveaway YouTube? No, I want to have everybody a chance to who's here. Okay, YouTube comment picker.
So maybe if we do maybe
that's
we
not
do
the one I'm looking at.
Okay,
right.
Maybe we do something like hashtag I like comics, because that's Matt likes comics and so should you.
Actually, you know what? Archivist Adrift has a nice one. Guess the number from 1 to 100, and I can do that right now. Can you see me?
No. If you want to split the screen.
Well, no. The reason is I was going to write the number down, show it to you.
Oh, gotcha.
And then,
but if you want to put it in the private chat, that'll work.
Okay, I'm going to put this in the private chat. Let's see here. Comments, banners, assets, style, notes, people. There we go. The number I'm going to pick is there now. So the first person to put that number, everybody start numbering 1 to 100. Go. And we will pick and the one that comes up with it first will win.
Came in is just like 1, 2, 3, 4. And I do, while that is kind of going on, I've also collected some original art that I have, and I thought I'd show a couple of pieces of that. One of the things that this is, I really bought this because of what it was. So this is a cover. This is an actual, produced cover. If you can see that there, it's Mark Bagley, and this is all pencils, but this is the pencils for the cover of this issue. And the reason that I got it is Fantastic Four, Volume 4, issue number 4. So, but I got this at a convention one year, and it's really. I think it's the only cover original art that I own, but it has the whole team on there. Really cool. So I have that. I have another artist that I really like is Steve Epting.
I will say, for the number contest going on, 2 people have been very close so far.
Yeah, 2. Yeah. I've seen a couple close. Is Steve Epting. Steve Epting, a lot of people know from his Captain America Winter Soldier run, which is absolutely amazing. If you're going to read a Captain America story, that's the one to read. But I just love his inks, and how detailed and just how great this is. But this is from Fantastic Four 586. This is page 18 of that. But just like a Namor, Sue, with some, these are actually like some Inhuman characters that they're all fighting against. So I was really happy to get that. And then I have, I have a few others. I have, people that have followed me know I'm a big horror fan. And I got another Bagley piece here. And this is a more recent issue. So this is the 2012 run. This is issue number 13. but it's kind of a monster issue where they kind of all change into monsters. So it's like
somebody who put up a number right now is very close.
and this, it's got the Thing kind of body horror kind of turning into mud, and so he's kind of like a mud monster. And the one thing about like Mark Bagley art is very cheap, and it's it's surprisingly cheap. Another page that I have is this is Leonard Kirk and Scott Hanna doing the inks. So this is inks on Blue Line.
Just a second, Adam. To make it easier on everybody, it's less than 60.
Yeah. This, I really like this page because this page kind of tells a story. The Thing here pictured gets some information that he kind of realizes that Reed Richards could have actually saved him early on and not made him turn into a monster, or into the Thing, that he could have stayed Ben Grimm, but he got involved in some other projects and decided not to do it.
I'm going to say that somebody in the chat is one off.
Yes. So when
we got a winner. We got a winner.
Oh, Kay Munin. Awesome. Kay Munin is the winner.
Send Adam your contact information through Instagram. Okay.
Yep.
And he'll be able to send you that book. Congratulations, Kay Munin.
Yeah. I might have a couple other things I can throw in there for you that maybe you don't have that I know you'd like. So, this page kind of tells a story. Like, he has that information. It's raining. He realizes that Reed could have saved him, and he decides, like, I'm just walking away from the group. Just take me into jail. I don't want to do anything with the Fantastic Four. And then you see the last page there. You can see the tear kind of coming out of his eye. So just a really powerful page. So I have that, and I have a few other kind of more tangential, like I have some Inhumans pages. I have, some other things like that, but those are kind of like the big ones that I wanted to kind of showcase tonight. So, yeah. Mark wants a giveaway with the dogs. I don't know. I think my wife will be pretty upset if I gave one of them away.
Says he doesn't have IG.
I'll put my.
I was going to say, isn't your email available on your channel page?
Yeah, just UpAndAdamComics at Gmail. I'll put it in the chat. Just shoot me a message, Elias, and I'll. It wouldn't let me post it because I was putting an email account in there.
Adam, just a second. Up and Adam
Comics at Gmail.
And Adam Comics at gmail.com.
Yeah.
There we go. I've just put it in there for you there, Kay Munin, in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll get that out to you right away. So that's mostly what I wanted to kind of go over.
Kay Munin says that Nate has his information if you want to contact him.
Okay, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that.
That's great art, Adam. Adam, by the way, I have been paying attention.
No, yeah, and most of the stuff, like a lot of people worry about original art and what to pay for it. The Steve Epting piece was a little more expensive, but like Mark Bagley, like a general page of Mark Bagley like this, I think I paid, $100 or less for.
Where do you find most of your art? Do you find it online on eBay, or do you go to shows and buy it?
I've gotten a lot of this from either Anthony's comic art, or Spencer Beck is a art dealer. He's actually the rep for Mark Bagley, so a lot of this stuff I've gotten from him. Spencer Beck has amazing deals. He's also, if you follow Clan McDonald on Facebook or anything like that, they usually have Spencer do art sales live.
And this, of course, has all been This is all like certified that it's the artist and.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Bagley ships him all of his stuff, and like
Oh, that's
Scott
very
Hanna, like he ships all the pages that he's worked on, and Spencer just sells them. And so
very
yeah,
cool.
and you'll see Spencer. Spencer's at a lot of conventions, and he kind of reps. He's an old time rep for different artists, and he used to be a rep for George Perez, and so a lot of the stuff that he has. He usually arranges it by artist, so you can be like, okay, here's all the Fernando Passarin stuff. And so he's got all of that together, and you can kind of flip through. But I've seen so many amazing deals to be had through Spencer. So I've gotten a lot of art from Spencer. And I mean, I haven't done a lot of, I have done a few original art pages through eBay, but most of them have been through those kind of like certified art dealers that you can get things from. And Anthony's is on, if anybody is into comic art, one thing that I would highly recommend is taking a look at is CAF, which is Comic Art Fans. So it's comicartfans.org. And people can put up their collections of all the art that they own. You can sell and buy and trade and do stuff through that. But they also host some Facebook live shows and Instagram live shows. I think they're connected to both. And they'll have Anthony and some other comic dealers on there. And they'll sell pages and make deals with people as they're claiming in the chat. So definitely some good ways to get some good deals on some original art, and these people know what they're doing, and they're really well recognized. And I think a lot of people I heard that went to Heroes, like went by Anthony's huge booth of art, and were amazed at how much stuff is there. So if you're interested in something, and that's one thing, like you can just like for some of these big dealers like Anthony and some of the others, like you can tell them like, hey, I like this character. Like you could say, I like Lois Lane. And he would say, let me show you some stuff that I have for you. And there's going to be a lot of different price points to get in on that.
Adam, I want to thank you very much for coming tonight. That has been a lot of great stuff that you've shown. I've always been a big fan of the Fantastic Four forever. Actually, my first real thing with them was not just the cartoon, but there was these little books that you could get, and the Horror House or something was the one that the Fantastic Four was in, and I just remember that because that freaked me out because this guy had magical powers, and as they went through one of those beaded doorways, they turned into snakes, and it freaked me out as a kid. So I got interested in the Fantastic Four as a result. But it was the way the Thing and the Torch talked in this thing that caught my eye, and so I became a big. I don't buy a lot of Marvel, I admit that, but I do buy the Fantastic Four because I just think that they're really, really good. And the art you showed was absolutely amazing.
One of the things about the Fantastic Four, the latest series, most of the stories are kind of one shots.
Yeah, so far, and they've been pretty good as a result.
Yeah, and you don't find that much these days. Like you usually have to, like if you come into part 3 of a story, like you might as well not have even started.
And I also like the fact that the Thing and Alicia have married, and it just feels right.
Yes, yeah.
Like it just feels like, why didn't they do this years ago?
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that they've got these alien kids that they're raising at the same time, it just feels like a normal. I know that's weird having alien kids and all that, but it feels like a normal book. It just feels like you're looking at, this is the life. They do some crazy thing. The issue not too long ago, I don't know if you remember, where they were both working at the grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think I had to read that 4 times before I could read it without laughing so hard.
Yeah.
It was great. Just good. They were fighting to become Employee of the Month at the grocery store.
at a grocery store. Like, and that's what, like, some of the stories, they just hit different. They're just not like the
Yeah.
normal types of things, but they're not the normal types of comics, but the normal types of life sometimes that you can easily relate to. So that's really why I've really gotten into them.
Yeah, and I mean, like the slice of life stuff is it's cool. At the same time, they're still going on adventures. The latest issue had the Black Cat, if I remember correctly, where she
Yeah.
had gotten into trouble, and
Yeah.
Sue actually played detective and got her out of it.
Yeah, the rest of the family is going on like a vacation, and
Yeah.
she's having girls'
They went
night.
fishing in it. They went to another dimension to go fishing. Like, come on, this is awesome.
Yeah. But Reed would do that, so
Yes,
that's kind of cool. They have the technology; they could do it.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was a fun issue, and I know some people that picked that up. They're just big Black Cat fans, and I was like, this is actually a good Black Cat story.
It is. It is a good story. Period. Like whoever's writing for them right now, off the top of my head, I can't remember, but he or she is doing a wonderful job.
Yeah.
For those that like to watch Nate on Tuesday nights, there is no Nate show tonight. He's not feeling well. It's his turn to be Mr. Voice, so he's taking the week off. For those paying attention, we are 43 subs away from the giveaway as of the beginning of this show. Hopefully that'll be there soon. Adam, thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thanks so much for having me.
Next week, I have Cram Bradley on the show. He's coming on for a solo appearance to follow his Sunday Superman appearance. We had a couple weeks back with him. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you. And if you're watching this on the replay, I hope you enjoy yourselves too. Thank you, Jeff.
We got a new member. Awesome.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate it very much. And thank you all for coming tonight. As I said, I know I get repetitive sometimes. It's the age. My name is Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. And before we go, thank you very much, Lau. We're all having a wonderful day. I hope you're having a great night too. Bye, everybody.
Hey, bye. Thanks so much.